Welcome back to Daily AI News at Let's Data Science. It's 14th August 2026. Today, we're diving into some pivotal developments from the future of machine intelligence to major product launches. Let's get to it. Our top story today: Google has released Gemini 3.7 Flash, targeting coding, agent workflows, knowledge work, and web development. The launch comes just 3 weeks after Gemini 3.6 Flash. Google lists text, image, audio, and video inputs, a 1,048,576 token context window, and up to 65,536 output tokens. Developers can also select low, medium, or high thinking levels. Google reports sizable gains over 3.6 Flash, including 43.6% versus 34.4% on Frontier Code 1.1 main, and an automation bench score of 30.4% versus 17%. Those are vendor reported benchmarks, and Google's own materials contain a small inconsistency in the older DeepSuite baseline. Availability spans the Gemini API, AI Studio, Android Studio, Gemini Enterprise Agent Platform, and Google Antigravity, while Ars Technica reports that the model also powers the Gemini Spark agent. Introductory API pricing through December 31st is 75 cents per million input tokens and $3.75 per million output tokens, doubling on January 1st, 2027. For engineering teams, the important test is cost and reliability on actual agent workloads, not benchmark scores alone. From frontier models to the enterprise platforms built around them, Databricks has closed a $5 billion strategic funding round at a $190 billion valuation. Coatue led the financing, with participants including Blackstone, MGX, accounts advised by T. Rowe Price, and Sixth Street Growth. The closing updates a July term sheet that valued Databricks at $188 billion without disclosing the round size. Databricks also says it has surpassed a $7 billion revenue run rate and grew more than 80% year over year in its second quarter. Those are company-reported metrics rather than audited public company results. The investment focus is particularly relevant to AI infrastructure teams. Databricks says the money will support Lakebase, its serverless Postgres database for AI agents, Genie, which turns enterprise data into answers and actions, and Unity AI Gateway, which handles model access, routing, governance, and cost. Databricks says Lakebase itself has exceeded a $100 million revenue run rate, while its Lakehouse data warehousing product has passed $1.5 billion. The financing signals continued investment across the state, context, and model governance layers required by production agent systems. That enterprise build-out puts inference performance under the microscope, and OpenAI is previewing UltraFast, a limited access API tier for GPT 5.6 Sol. OpenAI says UltraFast can generate up to 750 output tokens per second, as much as 14 times standard processing speed, using Cerebras hardware. This is a new serving, not a new foundation model, and initial capacity is limited to selected customers. OpenAI highlights voice, customer support, incident response, reliability work, finance, security, commerce, and live research as potential latency-sensitive applications. Cerebras separately reports major benchmark speedups, including a 5.6 times end-to-end improvement on GDP val without quality degradation, but those figures are vendor-reported and depend on settings and benchmark design. For production teams, token generation speed is also only one component of latency. Prompt ingestion, retrieval, routing, safety checks, tool calls, orchestration, and streaming can dominate a multi-step workflow. The announcement gives Cerebras a prominent OpenAI inference deployment, but key operating details remain undisclosed, including pricing, regions, rate limits, context window behavior, and formal service level commitments. Teams considering UltraFast will need application-level measurements before treating 750 tokens per second as an end-to-end guarantee. From inference speed to the hardware supply chain beneath it, TSMC says its 5.5 times reticle CoWoS packages are now in volume production with yields consistently above 98% across several AI products. TrendForce says some have reached 99%. The update was presented by Jun He, TSMC Vice President of Advanced Packaging Technology and Services, at the OCP APAC Summit. CoWoS, short for chip on wafer on substrate, lets accelerator designers integrate large logic dies and high bandwidth memory within one advanced package. A yield above 98% suggests strong packaging process maturity, but the public reports do not specify the precise manufacturing stage or denominator behind that metric, so it should not be interpreted as a complete accelerator system pass rate. TSMC's package roadmap itself is not new. The company said in April that a 14 reticle package is planned for 2028, with even larger packages following in 2029. The newer signal is operational. TrendForce reports that TSMC nearly doubled CoWoS capacity in each of the previous 3 years and now has 10 advanced packaging facilities. Yet memory and Ajinomoto build-up film substrates remain bottlenecks. For infrastructure planners, better CoWoS yield improves one critical link, but it does not guarantee accelerator availability. From accelerator hardware to AI interacting with physical systems, Mother Jones reporter Matt Smith says ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and Perplexity assisted an 11-month autonomous drone experiment with parts lists, assembly guidance, and code. The prototype followed a programmed GPS route, but crashed after an altitude programming failure and never became a weapon capable of autonomously selecting and striking a target. The investigation highlights a safety challenge. Risky capabilities can emerge cumulatively across multi-turn conversations and multiple tools, even when an explicit request is refused. That system-level risk extends into cyber operations, where Dark Atlas says Iran-linked AP42 is combining generative AI with its established rapport phishing tradecraft and the Tamacat backdoor. AI reportedly supports reconnaissance, persona creation, translation, code generation, debugging, and exploit research. Tamacat adds Search MS and WebDAV delivery, PowerShell modules, browser cookie theft, and multiple command channels including HTTPS, Discord, and Telegram. For defenders, Dark Atlas emphasizes relationship provenance, redirect chains, endpoint behavior, browser sessions, and identity telemetry, rather than relying on suspicious writing style alone. Turning from security to language access, researchers at the Indian Institute of Science and Art Park have released Shravani 1.0, an open-source speech recognition model covering 65 Indian languages and dialects. The roughly 430 million parameter system uses a fast conformer encoder and was built through speech pre-training, audio-image alignment, and supervised fine-tuning. The researchers report particularly broad evaluation coverage for low-resource languages, though performance varies by language. The MIT licensed model is available through Hugging Face with repository access conditions. From open model artifacts to sensitive agent artifacts, SpectreOps has released Blacklight, an open-source toolkit for examining local data left by OpenAI Codex, Anthropic Claude Code, Cursor, and Google's Antigravity CLI. Blacklight works across Windows, macOS, and Linux, identifying credential, configuration, integration, and session files before selective collection. SpectreOps stresses that this is not a new remote vulnerability. Instead, Blacklight gives security teams a repeatable way to inventory and monitor high-value AI agent state after endpoint access is already possible. Shifting from developer endpoints to regional model deployment, Reuters reports that Apple trained a China-specific large language model with support from Alibaba. Apple Intelligence is expected to launch in China in the coming months following an iOS update, according to the report. The arrangement would give Apple a distinct model path in a market where OpenAI's ChatGPT and Anthropic's Claude are unavailable. Important technical details remain undisclosed, including architecture, training data, inference location, and the precise division of responsibilities between Apple and Alibaba. And finally, IBM is partnering with OpenAI to integrate GPT 5.6, Codex, and ChatGPT work into IBM Consulting Advantage. IBM is creating a dedicated OpenAI practice, with thousands of consultants and engineers pursuing certifications through the OpenAI Partner Network, and is targeting industries including financial services, government, telecommunications, and retail. The partnership also covers cybersecurity work through OpenAI's Daybreak Cyber Partner Program. Commercial terms, deployment architectures, pricing, retention controls, and detailed production configurations have not been disclosed. And that's your AI briefing for today. The landscape is moving faster than ever, and we'll be here to track it with you. For more insights, visit us at letsdatascience.com. Thanks for tuning in, stay curious, and we'll be back tomorrow with the latest in AI.